Assassin's Creed Origins had a 6-month long post-launch, Assassin's Creed Odyssey a full year of new free and paid content, Valhalla had not 1 but 2 years of content, which was a first for the series, and well, maybe you already guessed it, but Assassin's Creed Shadows should be supported for even longer, and we now got new leaks that reveal that Ubisoft has some big plans, so a ton of new info to go over. Let's start with details on the first expansion, and I know it's kinda wild to talk about the first DLC already before the game is even out, but trust me, there are some good reasons for it. For one, as you might know, this first expansion will be free if you pre-order the game. Yes, at the time of this recording, it's still not possible to pre-order on the digital storefronts, but that will change very soon. Ubisoft was namely a bit too excited and already shared the pre-order information on the Steam page following the delay to March 20th, and then they changed it back, but luckily Assassin's Creed News on Twitter got the screen cap. So it reads, pre-purchase now to get a bonus mission, which we know is the Throne to the Docks one we knew about before, but this is where it gets spicy. You also get the upcoming Claws of Awaji expansion, travel to a new region, get over 10 hours of additional content, and unlock a new weapon type, new skills, gear, and abilities. The first DLC for Odyssey did not include a new map, so that's already a plus, and as you might know, Awaji is an island in Japan that we actually already see in the full map of the game as made by Assassin's Creed videos. Now, it doesn't seem too big compared to the other regions, but size is obviously not that important as long as there's enough to do, and 10 hours is quite a lot, seems to be around the size of the Wrath of the Druids for Valhalla. Also in terms of what it will actually include, feel the fear of being hunted and under threat on a mysterious island, reclaim a lost treasure while avoiding the traps and ambushes of deadly new foes. The werewolf enemies and the new mythical boss were of course totally one of the highlights of the Druids DLC, and seems like this first Shadows expansion will also have new enemies. Maybe the claws in the title is a hint at what we might expect. And we could of course use the new sickle weapon in Valhalla to fight the werewolves. Well, in the Claws of Awaji we get the bow or the bow as a new weapon type. So yes, the staff from Odyssey and Origins will be back in Shadows with this DLC. And getting a new weapon type in Shadows will be way more exciting than in Valhalla, because next to the new combos and tricks you can learn, each weapon also has their own skill tree and brand new abilities that you can only do with that weapon. So I am kinda curious when they say new skills, gear and abilities, if they only mean the skills and abilities that are linked to the bow staff, or if they also mean that Naue has some brand new skills and abilities. Because we are now kinda seeing one potential issue with this dual protagonist system. The staff is probably only a new weapon for Yasuke, it seems way too big for Naue, so unless they make shared weapons, so far every character has an exclusive arsenal. So if you only play Naue, this first DLC won't include a new weapon for you, and maybe no new skills and abilities as well. Now, Shadows first had a season pass with 2 DLCs, so we know that there will at least be one extra expansion coming later on, but will then Naue only get a new weapon type, so there will be nothing for Yasuke players. In the second Valhalla DLC, the Siege of Paris, they did add 2 weapon types, the one-handed sword and the scythe, so hopefully that is the case in Shadows as well, because otherwise it would kinda suck. Now, we did learn that there will be separate battle passes, so one for each character, and yes, I agree, having a battle pass in a single player game is not the most exciting thing, but if you like me, like to play these games long after launch, it's interesting to see what Ubisoft has planned. And by the way, I'm still doing a giveaway for 3 copies of Shadows. Simply like this video, be a subscriber, and follow the link in the pinned comment if you want to participate. If you already participated before, still check the link, because I added new ways to get some points. So we already know that the game will not feature a paid battle pass or monthly subscription. Instead, just like with the recent RPG games, Ubisoft will be adding a lot of free content to the game, including new missions, hopefully similar to the Lost Tales of Greece we saw in Odyssey, which were these 45-minute long missions where choices could really alter the way it would progress. Love this content. And next to that, they will do projects, which are basically free battle passes that should have 22 tiers. If we go to tech power up, we can actually see the image of the first season for the game. It should be called Eye in the Dark or The Legacy. It has this sort of digital semi-Izu vibe to it, and the weapon we actually see Yasuke use here is one of the weapons you can get through the Battle Pass. There are actually 2 new weapons in the Battle Pass, also a Naginata at tier 4, a headpiece at tier 9, a trinket at tier 13, so the ones we saw in Mirage. Then the katana that you just saw at tier 18, and if you want the chest piece to complete the set, you need to complete almost the full battle pass because you get it at tier 21. And correct me if I'm wrong, but does Yasuke already have a staff on his back here? Especially the tip of the weapon doesn't look like a naginata to me, especially if we compare it to some of the staffs we had in Odyssey. So your takes more than welcome in the comments. Now, Naue also has her own battle pass with similar rewards. The armors look kind of similar as well. And seems like the battle passes won't expire. So when a new season starts, you can select which one is active and then work towards that one. If you want to focus on the other one, you can just switch around. Now, if you are paying attention, you probably figured out that only 5 of the 22 tiers contain new items. The rest of these tiers seem to include upgrade materials for your gear or another important currency called keys. Keys are basically the orichalcum or opal from the previous games, but seems like we can this time only get them through the battle passes, around 9,000 per battle pass, and then we can use them at the exchange, or now seemingly called the construct, and that's basically a Reda-like store that sells helix items. Now, of course, all these things could still change, especially the numbers that I'm about to share here. So far though, these leaks have been correct. So if you, for example, want a hideout kit with new stuff for your settlement, then you can expect to pay 2,250 keys, while that mount from the ultimate pack can be bought for keys for 2,850. So if we really get 9,000 per battle pass, then you can get 18,000 keys in season 1. So you can buy quite a lot of these helix items at this Reda-like shop. Now, it's still kind of unclear how you progress the battle pass. It's noted that you have to stabilize anomalies to gain data fragments and then progress an active project, so battle pass. So maybe it's similar to the Trial of the Gods or the Animus anomalies from Valhalla, so glitches in the Animus that appear in the world that we then have to go and fix, and then we get data fragments that we can use to unlock new rewards. Or maybe there are daily and weekly missions again, similar to what Reda gives us, that also help us get these data fragments to build towards the battle pass. The RPG games, of course, also had some big new modes post-launch. I asked about New Game Plus, but the narrative director Brooke was not able to share anything on that yet. Feels like if we see it, that it will not be at launch. Let's hope that we at least get it, unlike Valhalla. Now, Mirage, of course, did get New Game Plus and also a permadeath mode. So, this is not a thing at launch, but Associate Game Director Charles did say that they have a couple of other ideas for cool modes post-launch. We'll totally ask for specifics when I get the chance. They could not share if the Discovery Tour would be a thing, but just like in Mirage, they will have the collectibles in the world that you can find and then fill up your codex with info on the setting and behind-the-scenes information. And of course, a reminder that a co-op mode is in the works according to Insider Gaming, but I'm expecting that much later during the post-launch, like late 2025 if I had to guess. Of course, drop your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. I'm curious. Subscribe to not miss anything on Assassin's Creed Shadows if you haven't already. A like would really help me out, and check out my most recent video on big parkour details by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.